practices. First, let's present ourselves. My name is François Chrétien. I'm in charge of sales at Planisware, and I am honored today to be joined by Patricia Lamar, who is the co-founder of a Prodesys company, and Walid Lataif, who is a pre-sales consultant of Planisware. Today, let me introduce the agenda. Let me introduce the agenda. So we'll start with a quick word on respective company, Planisware and Prodesys. That will be followed by the presentation by Patricia on the key challenge and recommendations for life science project management. This will be followed by a Planisware Orchestra, which is a PPM solution, to demonstrating a use case to show you how it can support the challenges of science project management, and then we'll finish by question and answers for a wrap-up. So do not hesitate during the presentation to send us a question through the chat, and we'll be happy to answer those questions during the wrap-up session. Okay. So just a quick word on who is Planisware. Planisware has been a global provider since the late 90s of PPM solutions, PPM software. Those solutions are dedicated to help our customers drive their strategic portfolios. This is very much to ensure that they can make confident business decisions, and also, and very important, increase the value of their portfolios of projects. I'm going to give the word now to Patricia to present Prodesys. Just to finish, so we'll be happy to answer more questions about our solutions and respective company. What is very important is we're dedicated to your industry, and we are making sure that our solutions are delivering the value that you deserve.
Okay, thank you, François, and welcome everyone. Just switching. Okay. My name is Patricia Lama, and I am one of the co-founders of Prodesys, in charge of the global consulting services. Few words about us. Prodesys is a project management fully dedicated company. We are all seasoned professionals coming from the pharmaceutical area, where we used to be either a project manager, PMO, PPM tool administrator. PPM stands for Project and Portfolio Management System, or even financial controllers. Clearly, coming from the life science industry is our key difference. Our core activities are focusing on 3 key pillars, which are first, the project expertise. We are supporting companies that are facing issues with their project. Could be deadlines not met, could be resource allocation difficulties, or skills that are missing at the right time, budget sometimes that are not under control, or even a lack of project management processes or strategic vision. The second pillar of our activity is related to the PPM tools. Once processes are clearly defined, we can help organizations to select the most appropriate system that will fit their needs and also their project management maturity. Then the third part of our activity is the training. We provide trainings around project management and portfolio subjects to support now the processes implemented or the system implemented to secure the user adoptions. We can now move on and highlight the key concern you may have as life science people. As a CRO or a pharma, you are dealing with complex, some very long projects with either regulatory constraints and key milestones to be tracked. For each full dev project managed end-to-end or a clinical study outsourced, you have to schedule and track the activities, you have to manage internal and external resources, and capitalize on past experiences with best practices. Of course, you still have to keep an eye on project valuation and invoicing. So let's start by activity scheduling and tracking. The main concern is managing The main concern in managing a project or trial are be sure that you are continuously controlling the coordination of all tasks and links between project phases to ensure go-no-go decisions are made and are made at the right time. Be able to announce a filing date or even the commercial launch date for the product as soon as possible and review it. To keep the plan under control over the time, which is quite challenging when you are dealing with plan over more than 10 years for prescription project, for example. When the initial product target profile is reached and the initial launch is made, then you may have to manage the geographical rollout. That could be another project. To deal with those subjects, with an accurate project plan, you will be able to see at a glance activities links over the project plan and key milestones. For example, with an up-to-date clinical study result dates, you will be able to schedule or to reschedule the commercial launch date and enable the commercial team to start working not too early and of course not too late to meet the day one on the market. You will be able also to track task progress and alert the management or your sponsor in case a risk that could affect the contractual commitment pop-ups, your commercial commitments. If the company objective for the project is to be the first on the market, for example, and you are competing with others on the same therapeutic area for the same indication, maybe, it is critical to be sure that the project is still meeting expectation over the time. And depending on study result, also, you will be able to kill a project as soon as possible when you have it correctly planned, because killing a project is sometimes challenging. Activities management, of course, is key, but resource management also. When a new opportunity comes, you need to assess quickly if you can integrate activities or not in your portfolio. You have to identify the skills that will be required and clearly when you will need them on the project. Ensure a smooth capacity planning with no bottlenecks and no gaps. Some solution to cope with those topics can be with an appropriate system to check on one screen the resources workload over the year for each skills and assess if you will need to outsource or not some activities or maybe reschedule or change priorities internally. If your plan shows a shift in delays and that you need, for example, a toxicology expertise no more in May but in August, your expert may already be booked on another project, and of course it could be an issue for you. Or if you schedule to receive from regulatory authorities a feedback or Q&A sessions on a file for a specific period, you will be able to secure your pharmaceutical expert availability with a consistent capacity planning that will include all the projects and all the project constraints. And resource management clearly is also key for your project, but you already know that. Activity scheduling, okay, and resource management optimization can be leveraged implementing project management best practices. The key subjects in this domain would be to be able to keep memory of the past experiences. You don't want clearly to reinvent the wheel each time you need to build a new project plan for an end-to-end project for the development of a new medicine, for example. And you know how painful it could be to create a project from scratch, especially a prescription one. To help you in this domain, a PPM system will enable to create project templates. You can build your own prescription, medical device, aesthetic or cosmetic plan with realistic deadlines because they are coming from your own experience and also based on post-mortem analysis that you can run. Those templates will enable to, for example, run in parallel some activities to fast track some projects, maybe OTC project. And you will just have to select the appropriate template and it will come with the standard and with real delays, cost, and resource needs. Of course, when I said you just have to, it takes some time to get there, first on paper and then with a tool, but it's really worthwhile. Using also internal or external benchmark, those templates can include timelines, will run with regulatory delays, Q&A times, and sometimes buffer you need because with experience, you know that you need those buffer. With a template, of course, for example, for innovation or renovation project, standard trials milestone, you will be able to simulate your portfolio and build a credible roadmap for your company. Last but not least, the project valuation. If you are a CRO, you need to invoice your sponsor at the right time for the appropriate activities. And if you are a pharma, you need to keep control of the project overall budget to meet the target. And depending on the country where you run your activities, you may benefit from the tax credit. And to benefit from a tax credit, you will need to justify your activities. To help you, as a CRO with a consistent time tracking system, your resources will regularly log their time and secure your sponsor invoicing. And as a pharma, time tracking will support your knowledge database regarding workload on each project phase and will ease the tax credit valuation, if any, depending on the project type and also the resources categories. With a project management system, also you will be able to take baseline. Baseline are something like a snapshot that will be used to track the real budget consumption versus the initial estimates. And this also will support the project running forecast review you may have in your company with some specific reports that will be built once, shared across the appropriate people, and updated on a real-time basis. To wrap up, I would say that with a system, you can find solutions that will be adapted to the life science context to support your project timelines and resources. And hopefully you will leverage all your past experiences, spending quite first time at the beginning to build everything on paper and then in a tool. I will now leave the floor to Walid for the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Patricia. All right, so we are going to move to the presentation of our tool, Orchestra. Okay, so let me first tell you a little bit more about our product. So our software, Orchestra, is a full PPM solution. So that means that it's managing all the project life cycle. So it actually begins from the ideation phase, which is about creating, collecting first, creating, scoring, and then ranking your areas. You have the ability also, depending on your financial capacities, to and other also categories to select the best idea that you would like to move as a project. So once you selected your area that is moving as a project, with our tool, you have the possibility to manage all the most important iron triangle parts, which are the schedule, the quality, the cost, and the scope. You have the ability also to choose the methodology that you would like to use for your project management, either agile through boards or classical waterfall or hybrid. And of course, we have additional modules for risk and resource management. All right, so this is in order to keep your project on track and to deliver some business value at the end. Okay, let's move to our live demo. So here I'm going to present you some key stakeholders that we are going to use their credentials to use the tool. So first, let me introduce you to Max. Max is our product manager. So all those stakeholders are working for a contract research organization, which is operating for several clients that we named Carexis. And Max is the product manager. So he is responsible of all the injection product activities. That means that he needs to overview the roadmap, to anticipate the risks, to track the progress, etc. Then we have Musa. Musa is our clinical resource manager. He's working across the whole organization, and he manages the team resources. So that means that he is responsible of their assignment and allocation. Then we have Monica. Monica is our project manager. She works on several injection projects, and actually she might need some resources that she will need to express. Then we have Gary. Gary is our gatekeeper because of his seniority. Gary is a very expensive manager, and because of his experience, he is able to check all the project deliverables and approve them. Finally, we have Joseph. Joseph is a pure technical resource. He's a medical expert, actually, and his interest within the project lifecycle is to be able to track his activities and to know exactly when the job needs to be done. So in our demo, we are going to go through a concrete and a realistic issue that is happening for a lot of projects. So here, for example, it's about the injection project that did not pass a key gate. So we are going to see what might be the impact, how to analyze that, and also how can we identify the causes. So we will go through an analysis process, and the root cause here for this issue would be about a problem of resource availabilities. So lack of availability of resources is a major issue in the industry. So we are going to see how to resolve this problem, how can we solve it, and get the job done in time and prevent any risk. So the problem solving would be finding the good resource that would be matching the need, also how we will be able to track the resolution of the issue, and finally, all those stakeholders that we see here, those 5, how are we able to coordinate all of them so that they move towards the project success? Okay, so let me show you first our tool. All right, so as you can see here, Orchestra is a web-based application. So there is no need for any installation to proceed on any workstation. All what you need is actually a URL address, as you can see here, and a login and a password. So you can access to the application from any web browser. The application can be provided either on premises, that means that it's going to be installed on your own servers, or in SaaS mode. That means that it would be installed on our data centers that are located in Paris, Munich, and in the US. So let's start our demo using our first user who is Max credentials. So remember, Max is a product manager. Okay, so Max here is connecting to his homepage. So once Max connects, actually, he is able to see his product dashboard. So Max is responsible of the X injection product. Here on the left, we see a navigation bar that is going to have all this hierarchy of a master plan, accounts. Here it's sorted by clients, and then the different products that are sorted by client. Within each product, we will find a lot of different projects. Max is the X injection product manager, as I said. This is his homepage. So the homepage is completely customizable. So here, Max actually chooses to show it this way. Let me hide this navigation bar. So this product dashboard, actually, it allows Max to have an overview on all the projects that are included on his program or injection product. So he can see the project sorted by different information, like here we have the roadmap. It can be also sorted by staging gate, etc., etc. Or here, for example, the load plan. He has also the ability to change this view and like to change the view and choose other views. Like for example, here he has the ability to sort the project by gates. All right, so let's say that every morning Max is connecting to the app to track the different projects that are related to his product. He can see here the timeline with the progress, with the target dates, etc. For example, he can see that for the X1.6 injection, that currently the preclinical phase that Monica Canepa is managing is actually ending on July 3rd, and it's still 99%. It's not completely done. And if he goes up and he checks the project by gates, so here he has different gates reviews, and he can see that this project, the LFSW1 for the X1.6 injection, is on hold, and it's due on July 6th to review the gate. That means that we are already July 7th and we are late. So Max is going to dig into that project and try to identify the issue. So let's do that. To access the project is very simple. You just need to click on your project. Okay, so here, the way that it is showing for the projects, let me show you the navigation bar on the left. You have your project. Within your navigation bar, you have different information about WBS and the phases. Let me hide it. Here you have different modules that you are going to use for your project manager, like for management, like for example, the stage and gate module, the deliverable management, the planning with the schedule, cost and load, resource management, and finally reporting. So to have a quick way to understand what's happening, Max is going to use the Flash reporting. So to do that, he's going to the reporting, Flash reports. All right, now he accesses the Flash reports module. So Flash reports is a feature actually that show you all the different KPIs that were issued to track the project status and trend. So some details are included within each of them. So here he can see that the Flash report with the red status has been created in June 2020 for that project with the red indicators and trend pointing down. So when Max clicks on the Flash report title, he can see some comments indicating, for example, that a problem occurred within a missing report and the need of a resource. So actually the project manager is responsible of editing and creating those Flash reports. And that way, the portfolio manager is able to oversee all the Flash reports when he wants to know about the status of one of his projects. So obviously here, there is an issue of a lack of availability of a medical expert. So Max is going to share with the project manager, who is Monica Canepa here. So that way, to do that, he can use the three dots here, share for collaboration. He's going to share that with Monica. So he's going to look here for Monica, and he's going to ask her, can you allocate an extra resource to help the medical expert to get the job done? Because you are obviously late. He's going to publish the comment and share it. All right, so the comment has been shared. So now we are going to connect as Monica, our project manager, and we are going to see how it works for her. All right, so Monica connects to her dashboard. So here we have a different view, and this is normal because Monica decided to have this view of her dashboard, of her homepage. And here she can see, like, for example, the latest comments, the active project that she's managing, the requested project that are ongoing, the gates to review. Obviously here, no gate because she already reviewed the one that we are going to look into, and the last completed task. So this is the most relevant information that she decided to show. Here in the latest comment, she can see that moments ago, Max Mayer just asked her if she can allocate an extra resource to help the medical expert to get the final report done so that we can pass that gate. She can also get that information here through a notification. All right, so Monica is going to access the project. And actually, she's going to check what's happening on the stage and gate module. So she can see that the go to phase 1 is currently yellow. That means that it's on hold. She's going to click on that. And whoa, wait, I didn't click on the right one. me get back to the project. Okay, back to the project. So once she clicks on the review, on the phase review, she can see the different comments of the gatekeepers. Here, obviously, it's Gary Clark, our gatekeeper, and who actually issued this no-go review. And the comment is about the deliverables checklist is not complete. There is a missing final medical study report. All right. Obviously, something is really wrong with this medical study report that was not issued. And Monica can see that because here she has a whole checklist of deliverables that are requested to pass that gate. And she can see that the final medical study report that Joseph Adam, our medical expert, is the owner of that report, and he didn't create it yet. To get more details, she's going to access the schedule of the project to know exactly what's the percentage complete of that task. So she's going to access the planning module and the Gantt chart view. So the Gantt chart view shows you all the project tasks here, as you can see, and the different important milestones. So they are grouped within the different stage and gates, and all the tasks are linked. We have the ability also to show the critical path, the progress made, and the owners of those tasks. So once she expands here all the tasks, she's going to check what's the current task ongoing currently. Okay, so you can see that there is a final medical study report. It's owned by Joseph, and it's 0%. It's supposed to be due on 7/3. All right, so here, Monica is going to request an extra resource. So to do that, she's going to the cost and load module. So the cost and load module allows you and allows the project manager to allocate a resource to his project. So it helps him to control the baseline, the budgeted, the actual, and the remaining versus the forecast load. So here, for the medical expert resource for her project, she's going to request like 80 hours of extra resource. That means 10 extra days of a medical expert resource to get the job done and help Joseph to get that report done ASAP. So that means that we are moving to 1,450 hours here that are requested, and she's going to save it. All right. Once the request is created, we can now connect as Musa, our clinical resource manager. So Musa, as he's working across the whole organization, he's responsible of the resources of his unit. So the unit that he's responsible of is the laboratory. So we have here on the navigation bar different units, as you can see. And here, as a laboratory responsible, he has this view of the different resource information that he needs to know about. So he's going actually to access the resource module. All right, once he accesses the resource module, he can see on the left the different projects that are related to his unit. He's going to get this one request here. He's going to click on it. Once he clicks on it, we have this view that is added below. So this is about what are the current resources that are already allocated. On the right, he can see the available resources. So he's going to select from the laboratory unit. He's going to select a medical expert, 10 days. This is the requested. Here he can see that there are 3 medical experts that are matching the need. So they are able to fulfill this need. And here he can see that they are allocated, like for example, 167 days for Emily, for example, and she's available for 760 days, etc., etc. So he can, for example, allocate Emily to that request. So it's very intuitive and user-friendly. He just needs to drag and drop Emily on the task. All right, so we can see how the resource is going to be allocated the way that it is. He can modify that depending on different domains. Now he is not going to modify anything. He's just going to allocate her. And once he allocates her, he can share with Monica that he just allocated Emily. So to do that, he's going back on the project root, going to share on the collaboration way here, and he's going to share with Monica. And also he's going to share with Joseph, because he saw that Joseph is the current resource who is working on the task. So he's going to tell them that I just allocated an extra resource to help Joseph, and it is Emily. Okay, so now he's going to publish the comment. Let's now connect as Joseph Adam, our medical expert. So once Joseph connects, he has also his own dashboard view, and he can see here a notification. It's coming from Musa, who is saying that he just allocated an extra resource to help him. All right, so let's say that now Joseph has all the support to get the job done. So he's going to access the Gantt chart view, and he's going to update his percentage complete of the task. So for example, on the final medical study report, he did the whole job and he's done. So he's going to update the progress. To 100%. And he's going also to share the information with Gary, our gatekeeper, and also Monica, our project manager, to let them know that he's done with the report and they can move to the next step. Okay. All right, so a report that you are waiting for was issued. Can you access it and review it? He's going to share it. Let's now connect using gatekeeper Gary Clark credentials. So once Gary connects, he's going to see the comment that was added by Joseph. All right, so Joseph is saying that the job is done. And of course, all the comments that were issued, we can find them. All right, so once you share with another collaborator and other stakeholders, it's going directly to open the view that you wanted to share. And you can also see all the comments that were issued here in the comments. Okay, so obviously the job is done. So now our gatekeeper is able to validate the deliverable. So he can access the checklist here. He can review it. It can be also attached as a deliverable. Yeah, he has the ability to attach it. He can validate it. And he can here proceed to the review, give his opinion about it. So it's a go. We have the report. Okay, save. Once again, he can continue and share with Monica about the fact that he just approved. And Monica is now going to connect. And she's going to be able to approve the gate. So to do that, she's going to connect to her project. Okay, she's going to access directly from her dashboard the gate. She can see that Gary Clark just gave on the 7/7 a go review, so she can decide about the approval of the whole phase. Now, once it's done, you can see that the color is going to move from yellow to green. which means that we are okay and we can move to the next step. She can also share back with Max, our product owner, who actually saw that there was an issue and asked to get it resolved, that the gate is approved, and now there is no more any impact on the other projects. So we can move to the next phase and work towards keeping our projects and programs on track. All right, so as a wrap up, we just saw how Orchestra helped all those stakeholders to communicate and to get synchronized, to resolve the issues and keep the project on track. Remember that all the notification can be checked through emails, so you will receive emails about notifications, and also through our mobile app. And this is always to add more flexibility and keep our project under control. We saw also some portfolio and project dashboards that are completely customizable, and they indicate relevant information, charts, tables, and KPIs. So this is completely up to the user to show the most relevant information. We saw also the cost load plan, which allows the project manager to request resources. So we have two methods using Orchestra to allocate a resource, either by direct allocation. This is using the Gantt chart, so you can allocate someone if you know exactly what you need, or you can go through the cost and load plan to request a resource, like who has specific skills or who has a specific role. And then if you have a resource manager in your company, in your organization, he will take the allocation. He's in charge of the allocation. Finally, we saw the flash reporting, and this is a very quick way to get reports about your project health chart. It's very useful actually when you have many projects in your product, in your portfolio, and with different project managers. Each of them is going to issue a report, so you have a way to track all the different reports and to keep accountability of your projects. All right, so we actually are done with the demonstration. So thank you for attending the demonstration, and feel free if you have any questions, we are more than pleased to answer. So you can use the chat interface that we have. Moreover, we added some information here, our contact actually. So for Patricia, you have her email, and for me, this is my email. So feel free to shoot us an email if you have any question or any demand.